So the most important thing is to always hike like you have flip-flops on. Every step counts, has to be perfect. You can have a walking stick, 2 walking sticks. But if you step wrong and step on something that twists your ankle or your whole boot or knee, you will hurt your ACL, MCL, your meniscus, and your kneecaps. And then once you fall, if you fall on a cactus, you'll be taking out thorns from your hands and potentially on your hip or your leg, your thigh, your calf, your shoulder. So remember, when you hike in the desert, it's completely different than hiking on ice and snow, on grass, on leaves. Each one of those locations that you hike on in locations around the world has different consequences. All I can tell you is the desert looks beautiful, but until you fall, then you'll find out how beautiful the desert really is. And you don't want to get cut because every rock out here is very, very sharp. So let's keep going. And today we got something really great planned. I have my 2 walking sticks that have dried for now almost over 2 days with the oil stain. So hopefully it'll take the polyurethane coatings greatly. I also carved my initial into each one, so I personalized it that it has my mark on. Now the other thing that I'm going to do is I normally put like 1 or 2 coats on. I think today with the wind and the temperature, I think I'm going to put 3 coats on. So hopefully I can get this done before the sun sets and it gets colder. I was going to drill the handles. I didn't get a chance to do that, but I got some other cool stuff. I got the leather prepped and I'm going to show you what I'm doing on that. I already measured it out a little bit. I always measure short so that when I wrap it around, it leaves a gap between it so that the handle can breathe, and also too that when you tighten it up, it stays firm and it doesn't loosen up. It's a different thing I do. It's a little different style. But anyway, that's it. So let's keep going. Alrighty. Good day. Good day, good day, and good day. Good day. Welcome to Education and Safety, hiking, bushcraft, and survival. Sometimes we have journeys and adventures, and of course we have entertainment. So today we are going to coat 1, 2, or 3 polyurethanes on top of these walking sticks that I have today that I let dry with an oil-based Minwax on my other video. You can check that out to where I got it to. Remember this one and this one right here, this one that I'm looking at, has 1 thin coat and then a heavy coat, and this one right here that I'm looking at has 1 thick coat only of stain. Just to let you know, I already put and scratched in the initials, okay, to mark my hiking sticks And if I sell them, like I said, whatever. I have something planned very special with these. So these are definitely special hiking sticks. So let's get going. Right now it's about 12:30 p.m. It's windy out. It's sunny. It's about 50 degrees. So hopefully the wind will dry this out quick and we'll get going. I have to unload my backpack. Here we go. Take the polyurethane out, let it sit out in the sun a little bit. Right here, that's fine. Throw a rock in the bags. It's not going nowhere. Done. So we got the Minwax polyurethane fast drying. Most durable, clear protection. This one is called Warm Semi-Gloss. All right, so this should be great. Let's see what it says pertaining to prepping. Prep. Sand lightly to smooth and remove any clear top coat. Okay, so it says that we need to sand it lightly. So I'm going to take the 150 sandpaper. I think I'm going to. And lightly sand it. And then I'll take a paper towel, denatured alcohol, wipe it down, let it dry. I'll apply thin coats. It says here apply a thin coat using a highly quality brush, or you can use a little towel, rag, what doesn't matter. And then lightly sand after 3 to 4 hours and apply 2 to 3 coats as desired. So rather than me letting it dry for 3 to 4 hours, as soon as it feels a little bit dry, I'm going to put another coat on, and that should do it. So that's what it says. So rather than let it dry for 3 to 4 hours, and then lightly sand after 3 to 4 hours and apply 2 to 3 coats as desired. So that's where we're going to be. I'm not sure if I'm going to test sanding it, whether I'm going to sand it completely or just sand just a couple little spots, because I don't want to take the stain off, and I'm not sure if I want to texture it. I like the way they turned out so far. So here we go. Denatured alcohol. I'll put that right here. That's a rough sandpaper. This one's rough, real coarse. That's like 50 grit. This is the leather strap. This is the paper towels. That's an extra bag. Let's get this out. That is the tips and the glue. And we also have in here we have like a little Phillips screwdriver that I'm going to punch the hole into the leather. I prepped the 2 pieces of leather. I'll show you that before I stain it. I brought my hammer along, which is a vice grips, and we're good. And we have water, and we're all good. We're all good. Here we go. Oh, I remember there was a piece of wood that I had around here, and I put it over here so that when I punched the holes in the leather, I didn't want to use a stick, but I wanted to use this 2x4. This is a 2x4 I found in the desert floor, and it'll work out beautifully, perfectly on the situation. Here we go. So let me just show you this. So the leather pieces are going to go on like this. So I cut out 2 pieces of leather. Let's see. This one goes for here. So this one is going to go wrap around this handle. I didn't drill out the holes yet, but that's fine. And then it's going to wrap around, and it's going to have a little gap. And I marked the holes already. You can see like an inch apart. Okay, so I'll punch the holes, and then after this is drying, I'm going to work on some of these. On this one, so that's that piece. I'll throw that over there. And on this longer one, I show you here, I marked the holes here, didn't drill it through. This is the way it's going to hold. It's not going to go that way, it's going to go this way. And then what I'll do is I'll put this leather piece around like this, and it'll go like that, and there'll be like a little gap between it. Now you got to realize that if you don't leave a gap and it overlaps, when you go to taunt it, you're not going to be able to make it tight. The other thing too I had to figure out is since I'm doing approximately, I think this piece is 7 inches, the other one was 5 inches, so 7 inches is going to go right here. It's also going over a really thick spot. Okay, so it goes thick, thin, big thick knot, and then thin down here. So down at the bottom it might be tighter. Okay, let me show you. As you can see, it's going to be very close and tight right here. Okay, but where it's thicker, right here, the gap is going to be bigger. So we're not trying to shape it perfectly so that the gap is all the way down the same size. That's not going to happen, at least with me. All right, if you want to go and do that with yours, if you're making one, go for it. But I'm not going to get super meticulous. I'm about getting it done, and you can see already how much time it takes, which, hey, if you have the time to do it, take the time to do it. Okay, so I'm going to get some 150 sandpaper out, and I'm going to test it and see what it looks like on the walking stick to rough it up, because you do have to texture it, I think, if I recall, to have it grip onto the oil. So what I did was, right here underneath the handle, I lightly sanded it where the stain is, and believe it or not, it did make it a little bit lighter. I'm not sure if I take the denatured alcohol and I wipe it over it, if that sawdust that goes away, it'll be clear. But I think because it's so smooth, I'm going to do a light sanding on it, because the last thing I want to do is put polyurethane on it and find out that it's not gripping onto it. So I'm going to sand both the walking sticks and then take a towel, denature alcohol them from top to bottom, and then after that, and they dry, then we're going to start coating the sticks with polyurethane. Okay, I sanded the one stick down. Take a look at it, and it's pretty interesting. It's definitely lighter color, just because there's sawdust on it. After I didn't denature alcohol yet, so check it out. And as you can see, the one that I just sanded with the 150, which probably should have been done with like 220, so it was more fine, but we're fine. So let's just keep going. I'm going to sand the other stick down and lightly, and then we're going to denature them, and I'll do some video of it after I'm done. The denatured alcohol in the towel takes off all the dust, so therefore it'll give it a different texture. Now, if I would have left the lightly sanded sawdust on the stick, on the hiking stick, when I put a clear coat on, it would mix with the sawdust and give it a little bit of a texture to it, and then the second and the third coat would be a texture. But what I want to do is make sure that there's no, when you use denatured alcohol, it also takes off any water stains that you might spit onto it, because any saliva has oils in it, and then your polyurethane won't stick. If you scratch the side of your nose where there's oil on your nose or inside your ear and you touch your walking stick, that oil goes onto the walking stick and it won't take the polyurethane onto the walking stick. So anything you touch, so when you're doing any kind of coating, always make sure that your hands are completely clean, and you should really wear gloves and never touch it with any kind of skin at all. But that's pretty much good for now. Now what I'll do is, so now I got I got a little stick. I'm going to stir the polyurethane up. I got a little paper towel, and if I can hold it, I have my plastic bag and rubber bands holding it in position. So when I use my paper towel, I'll hold it in my hand like this. And when I'm done, I'll wrap the paper towel into the bag, and then I can use it again. So that's how it works. So I'm going to stir this up right now. Oh, it's fine. It's not thick at all. It's in good shape. So I'm stirring it. Better more than not enough. And I'm pretty good now. I think that's good. All right. So I will take that, set that there, and I'm ready to start staining. I'm going to give you a little demonstration real quick. Let's see what it looks like. Just going to finish it up now and do the other one. Okay, I got the first one with a one coat on it. I used a paper towel to hold it, the walking stick, while I polyurethane the other one, just like so. And as you can see, it's looking real good. So out here in the desert with the wind, it's going to dry really quick. As soon as it gets past a little tacky, I'll put another coat on it, and I might call it quits on that. I'm not going to wait 4 hours and then sand it. Maybe down the road, after it's all made, I don't know, but it's fine for now. And then what I do is, once I put it here in the, once I set it here in the tree to dry in the wind, so air goes all around it vertically, where my dry paper towel touched last, I just put a little rub with the polyurethane. Okay, let's do the next one here. The next one's ready to go. And what I'll do is I'll start from the bottom and work my way up. And let me show you. So I'll put the paper towel right here that's not been used, and I'll grab the walking stick with the paper towel, and I'll work my way up until I'm very at the top. Okay, I'm gonna get started right now. Here we go. All right, so what I just did, I did the other walking stick. With this breeze, it's gonna dry quick, so I'll be able to put a second coat on. I think once I'm getting done with the second coat, I'm gonna go right over to the leather and punch the holes in it and get that all prepped, and then I'll actually string the leather through the holes really wide, and then what I'll do is I'll just pull it taut after this is all dry, whether it's dry in a couple hours or I'll do it tomorrow. I'm not sure yet how it's going to happen, but probably let it dry for 24 hours, and then I'll put the leather piece on tomorrow sometime, whenever, if not tomorrow, the next day. So that's it. The only thing you have to worry about is it falling over with the wind, because if it falls over and sand lands on it, you're going to get sand, and it's going to stick onto the polymer the polyurethane. So I'm going to check it and make sure that it's pretty secure. It looks like it's okay. Let's feel what it feels like, the first one. Wow, first one I can actually touch. It's not even wet. It's a little tacky on the shadowed side. The sun side is pretty dry. The back side, if I twist it, I just hope if I do twist it here, I hope I don't disturb the other walking stick. Let's see here. Gotta be quick. Looks like I did it. Good. Let's see what this one feels like I just did. It's almost to the touch already. So I'm just gonna let this go right now. And I'm just gonna set my timer for I don't know, like maybe 30 minutes and coat it again. I think that should be fine. And then I'll do the leather stuff right now. Let's go do that. The wind just blew it over, so I have to pick it up quick. Oh, good, it didn't fall in the sand. Oh, I'm lucky. Let's just get this over here, right here. Let's see if I can get this on. That's fine. Okay. The tip of it hit the stone, and I'm good. But anyway, for half an hour, you got to close, not seal the lid, but just close the lid. No dust gets into it, and also too, when you restart, you got to always stir your polyurethane. So I closed the lid. Now I'm also going to get another small plastic bag out ready. I got a little bit on my hands, so I'm going to clean that up right now, and then I'm going to work with the leather. Little Phillips screwdriver for the punch the hole in the leather. I don't have a hole punch. I use my vice grips for a hammer, and I already have everything marked. The little dots where I want to do it should go through quick, and I'll probably push the leather all the way up to about here, because the cord that I'm going to use, which is this right here, let me show you, looks about like this. So it's maybe a 3/16 to a 1/4 inch thick. And it, you know, you have to push it through. And once you get started, I'll just use the tip of the screwdriver, the Phillips, to push it through, or I'll get my Leatherman pocket knife out and use the little, whatchamacallit, the screwdriver on the little pocket knife that I have. It's like a, you know, for a keychain. So that's it. And the Leatherman looks like, let me see if I have it. So this is my Leatherman right here. And I'll just use that little screwdriver right here to push the leather through, and that'll be it. Let's get started on putting some holes in it. This is how I'll do it. I'll just put this just like this. I'll put it right where I want and put it through and hammer it down. That'll be it. Just like so. That's one. That's two. And just go all the way through, just like that. So I'll just do all the holes and that'll be it. And when I get all the holes done, I'll start to thread the leather through it, and I'll always leave a little piece. I'll show you where I'm at, and then I'll leave a piece at the end, both the front end and the back end, where I can tie things around and finish them up. Okay. Now, one of the things I did was I made a little slice on the cord like that, so it's easier to push in. And rather than use something to push it through, hopefully I'll be able to get the tip in it, grab it with my fingers, and weave it back and forth. That's it. So let me show you what I did. So I left a little piece at the top, okay, so I can use it to tie. I left big loops so that I can go over the entire walking stick, and I also left extra, okay, in there. One of the things I didn't do was I didn't measure back and forth how long this would have actually been and get a piece that was long enough to do the whole thing at once. So it ended up that it stopped right here, okay. It stopped, let's see here, it stopped right here, right there, okay. And then what I'll do is I'll tie that into this piece that I started. I'm not going to cut this off, this long piece that's maybe 2 feet long. I'm not going to cut that off until this is all tied on and finished. Once it's all tied on, that's when I'll trim it, and then I'll tie the last knots in the top and the bottom and so forth and make this work. I'm going to do that now to the other one. I'm going to see if I have a longer piece of leather. I didn't buy a spool of leather. I bought like scrap leather and stuff like that. And I bought this leather at, I think I bought it at AC Moore. That's where I bought this. AC Moore hobby shop. I bought the black leather in a roll, and I cut it out, and I bought a bag of lace that were scrap laces. That was it. So I'm ready to go. Yeah, I mean, you can, if you want it to be consistent and one length piece, then what my recommendation is to, you know, get a piece that's really long, and that way it's all one piece. But I'm not worried about it. I think it'll look great. Okay. Now, one of the things that I did was I took the Phillips screwdriver, and on the, not the dull side of the leather, but the shiny side of the leather that's going to shine out, okay? I could have had the dull side shine out if I wanted to. It's no big deal for more grip. This is just a little bit more, you know, whatever. It's just a different look. I'm going to push the screwdriver down through the top part of the shiny side so it's easier to go in, because I'm going to, when I do it, I'm going to put the leather so that it goes in the top and then in the top. So it's always going in the top, and it's always pulling and sealing the leather together, so that it's not like an open piece of leather. I'm always going over the top and then over the top. But you can decide what you want to do. Sometimes you can do over the top, all the way down, and then crisscross all the way back up again with maybe a couple pieces of leather. So it's up to you, the pattern that you want to do. And there's no right way or wrong way to do it. Have fun doing it. Make your journey adventure yourself. All right. So this one, the cord wasn't long enough either, because it's scraps. But one of the things is when you actually push it through the hole, since it's not a hole punch that you can buy for leather, you know, hole punching, you can get different size hole punches. This is probably, I would probably say the best punch to get for this would probably be like a quarter inch punch, maybe 3/16. But anyway, you can also, when you get the tip of the leather into the hole, twist as you push through, and it'll actually twist through. Because remember, you cut the piece of leather into like a little point, not a real sharp point, because if it's too long and sharp and pointy, it's too flexible. Just make it so it looks sort of like this right here, just like that. That's the best. And then all you do is twist it as you push in, and it's sort of, and then once you grab it from the other side, you're good to go. All right, I'm almost done. Half an hour's up. I'm going to put a second coat on right now. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to polyurethane with the paper towel coming down, go all the way up, and then I'll put the tip of it in this plastic bag right here, and then I'll hold the paper towel up here that's dry so that I don't put any oil on here. I'm not going to sand it again, and then I'll just finish it, take the paper towel that's clean, hold it here, and then what I'll do is I'll take it over to the spot and let it dry in the sun, and then rotate it in like a half an hour, and in another half an hour it should be all ready to just take it out, and that's it. And then I'll let it dry for 24 hours, and then we'll put the leather grip on probably tomorrow or the next day. Here we go. All right, so what we did was we put a second coat on. Check it out. Look how it's getting a little darker. It's getting a little darker. Looks really good. Just a little note, sometimes when you use glue, it'll leave a little discoloration. And if when you mix that glue wood pulp together, if there's any color in it, it's going to allow for there to be color. If it's just regular light wood pulp mixed into the glue, you're fine. If you want, for instance, the let's just say it's going to look this color, you can actually add some stain into, believe it or not, into the wood sawdust, mix it with the glue, and then it'll be like a colored paste versus a light colored, and therefore it actually show up dark, not light, like this. Look at this right there. So that's a light little spot. The other thing I could do is I could stain that little area more. I'm not going to get into being that meticulous about this. If you were worried about any kind of discoloration, you just do a stain that covers. It's not a semi-transparent stain. This is semi-transparent stain, so the wood comes through, which is great. And also too, the clear coat is clear, so you could use a coat that has more of a coating that blocks stuff. But why use a piece of wood? You might as well just use a piece of plastic. If you want to show the wood, show the wood. It's great. Show the flaws. Show the where the tree branches came out of. You know, I'm glad I put that wood filler in the top of this particular one. You know, that filled that gap in beautifully. That'll last thousands of years. You know, I mean, if you put it into the salty sea or an ocean, it's going to be done. If you leave it out in the rain forever, it's going to be done. But if it's just inside of a house, a cabin, or wherever it's at, as long as there's no, you know, humidity and rain and water on it, it's going to last thousands of years. It's beautiful. The leather will rot, but the wood will stay great. You can always replace the leather, and the walking stick works great just the way it is too, even without leather. But I'm just adding it on just for a little added grip so that you have it. That's it. One of the things I hike with is a pair of gloves that have rubber on the palm, like, you know, kind of mechanics use. And there's different types. There's thin ones, thick ones, and ever. If it's wintertime, you can use a thick one. If it's a summertime, you can use a super thin one. That way, when you hold stuff or you touch a rock, if you fall or something, you don't really cut yourself up too. But that's only if I'm really climbing around and, you know, just not staying on the regular trail or something like that. But normally I'm not climbing around at all. You know, I'm not into, you know, using carabiners and mountain climbing ropes and so forth. That's a little bit beyond my level of expertise, so I'll leave that up to somebody else. And this is my experiences that I've had, and I'm sharing with you, and I hope you enjoy it. So that's it. This is where I'm at right now. In about a half an hour, I'm going to turn them. I'm going to clean up where I'm at. I'm going to clean everything up, and what we'll do is we're going to take a little hike, and then we'll come back. So it'll be nice. You know, here, I'll just show you this real quick. I mean, these are types of, you know, roots and stuff that are out there. Those are roots. Okay? You know, stuff like that. So there's all different colors of wood. Here, look at this right here. So don't be particular, don't be picky. Just take something, make something great out of it. Doesn't matter. Someone hands you a piece of clay, you can either squeeze it, let it go, and that'll be it. You can fire it just the way it is. Your handprint will stay on there forever. Or you can make it into a dish, a flat saucer, a cup, a bowl, a plate, anything. Wood's the same way. Create something really interesting with it, and that's it. So you see exactly where we're at right now. I'm excited because in 24 hours I'll be able to put the grip on. The hole in the top of the handle, I actually used the Phillips screwdriver last time and my Leatherman to just keep going back and forth versus a drill. You know, it took 15 minutes per hole, but hey, I didn't have to go buy a drill for $65. Now I could buy one of those little hand drills, you know, or the other thing I could do is I could take the a piece of metal, okay, shape it into like a drill bit, you know, wrap a band around a wood stick that's a dowel that's straight up and down, and then go back and forth and go and just drill a hole that way too. You know, I'm not trying to start a fire, I'm just trying to drill a hole. So that's it. I'm gonna clean up. I just push down with a rock. Just make sure it's on level. And if it's not level, turn it and then push. Sometimes people use a hammer. You don't have to. Just push it down. Should be fine. That should do it. That's pretty level. Just make sure it's sealed. You don't want it drying out. This Minwax stuff is extremely expensive, but it lasts a long, long time. Okay. That takes care of that. And I'll put this in a double plastic bag so that if anything would ever spill, I always keep it vertical anyway. I'm going to clean up my hands, put everything away, and we're going to take a little hike. Oh, the grit sandpaper I use is right here. I got that at Harbor Freight. This piece right here, it's $150. It's called Hercules. If I would have done it again, $150 is fine, because after you do the second coat, it fills all the gaps in the third coat, and it gets a good grip. When you use 220, you're borderline on gripping and scratching it enough for it to grip good. So there's a fine line between 100 and 220, 220. I mean, you're not sanding it with 1,000 and 2,000 grit and 5,000 grit like you're doing a car paint and so forth before you put the clear coat on. I'm not trying to make it look like glass, okay? I'm just trying to make it last. Not like glass, but make it last. All right, let's get this cleaned up. So it's 2:45 p.m. Las Vegas time. We're out in here in the Red Rock Canyons, and I call it Hummingbird Springs because as soon as the hummingbirds start to migrate, there's some city ones, but most of the ones that live out here in the summer, they go back to the city because people put bird feeders up and stuff. But the ones that migrate down, they'll start coming back. And springtime, I call it Hummingbird Springs because there's tons of hummingbirds. They're always going all over the place. And it's really, really great. But anyway, I want to let you know something, one more thing too. When I clean everything up, okay, I always make sure that I put it in double plastic bags all the time so that nothing gets, messed up in my backpack, and because this stuff is very, very sticky and so forth. Now I'm going to clean my hands up, I'm going to put everything away, and then we're going to go take a hike. And I think there's a chance 2:45 p.m. sunsets at 4:45. I know that the sun goes behind these rocks at about 4:45, 5 o'clock now. This time of year, it's February. I think we're like somewhere in the February 7th, I think, 7th or 8th or something, and of 2023. So we're putting this together right now, and hope you're enjoying it. One more little note too on hiking, bushcraft and survival. A scarf goes a long way keeping your neck warm from heat. And I got something coming up really, really special soon. It's going to be exciting. I'm thrilled about it. I can't wait to share a whole video on it. It's going to be amazing. And but anyway, scarves are really, really warm. Your head also, you lose heat from your neck and your head. Your body, believe it or not, your torso and your legs and so forth, you lose some heat, but you really don't, because your feet are covered. your legs have a pants on so the wind's not hitting your legs directly, okay? And then you got a jacket on or a t-shirt and a shirt, but you lose all of your heat coming out because everything goes upwards. Everything goes up, and out goes the heat, and then you get really super cold. But yeah, like last night, I think it probably about 25 degrees out here in the desert. Mount Charleston is that way. Shark Fin Mountain is right over the mountain over that way. But hey, let's just keep rolling and get this cleaned up. Take a little hike, come on back, see where we're at. All right, so, you know, I'm going to set my stopwatch for like 2:45. I mean, 30 minutes. And in 30 minutes, I'll just walk back, and hiking sticks should be dry, and I'll be able to go and get on my way. We're going to go see some wildlife. Hope you enjoyed the content so far and the filming. But anyway, they're drying up nice. I'm going to just check them real quick here. Just going to touch it lightly. So already it's starting to feel pretty dry. So I'm going to just twist it. Just twist it a little bit. Half a turn. Right there. It's good. Let's see here if I can twist this without making it fall. Should be fine. There you go. Done. Looks really good. Let me show you a close-up of it. Time to see if we can see some wildlife. All right, so anyway, I just made a quick makeshift walking stick because I left my other one in the car because I didn't want to carry everything with me today. But let's go take a look up here and see if we can find some jackrabbits. I'm not walking in the optimal location to find them, but if I go over here, and I can see jackrabbit footprints, but if I go over here, there's a chance I'll be able to find a jackrabbit. Someone's asked me already, you know, well, like when you go out hiking and stuff like that, what do you take with you besides a walking stick? Well, I take a very large knife, which you saw in my other videos. I have another one that's about 3/4 of that size that's on me. And then I also have another one that's a belt knife. I have, of course, my small Leatherman on my keychain if I need to cut something or without using a large knife. And then I also have a another knife that I use once in a while, depending on where I'm at, where I'll actually strap that onto my thigh or my outside of my calf, because you got to realize that if something happens, sometimes it happens so quick with wildlife, you know, coyotes, wolves, mountain lions, you only get 15 or 30 seconds of survival time to cope with it. And if you have a handgun, then what's going to happen is you're going to pull it out and utilize it to make a pinpoint shot. So if it's far away, That's one aspect. And if it's really, really close, now that's another aspect. But the most important thing is everything is trying to make you stop breathing. That is the goal of any wildlife, is to make you stop breathing in any way, form, shape, or manner. They live in the wilderness. It's 24 hours a day. They're hungry. It's either you or them. And they know that if they live this long, a couple years old or whatever, it was them that lived. So you got to realize that you're going up against an animal that's eating all the time, 7 days a week. So the older it gets, the smarter, the faster, the wiser. So beware of all these animals. Let's take a look at some wildlife. Hope you enjoyed the content so far. Until again, also, you should have 2 cans of bear spray with you, depending on where you're at, and also a handgun. And it seems like a lot of talk that I've talked to people, they like a revolver, either 357 or 357 or 44 Magnum. 357 is a little bit smaller. 44 Magnum kicks more, and it's a little heavier. And so I'm learning about it from different people, as well as to what they like when they're going out in the wilderness, whether they're hunting for deer or they're hunting for venison to cook for meals in their house. It's a handgun, but for people that go deer hunting and stuff, they'll use a rifle and or a bow, like a crossbow or a compound bow or a longbow or something like that. So, and we'll get more into that some other time. For now, we're just talking about protection for yourself. That's it. That's all. All right, so it's 3 o'clock and the shadow is now crossing the Red Rock Canyon area where the mountains are and so forth. And the area that I'm at, it's probably gonna shadow my walking sticks in about 20 minutes, maybe sooner. Hopefully I'll get lucky and the sun stays out. But Red Rock here goes in the shadow first, and believe it or not, all the way across Las Vegas, Nevada, and the Strip on the other side, those mountains over there and that side of the Strip stay sunny way longer, probably a good 15 minutes to a half an hour longer for sure, or longer, 45 minutes, than the Red Rock area here where all the mountains are and so forth, just because they're so high and they shade everything. So anyway, let's just go see if we can see some wildlife up here. So until again, thanks for joining me here on our walking stick build, and I hope you enjoyed today's filming and got a little bit of education or something that you learned today. I hope that's really good. And the other aspect is, I'm just going to keep on sharing and do some filming of what I think that anybody could enjoy. And that's it. Everybody and anybody. And hope you enjoy what I've done so far. If you enjoyed the content, give it a thumbs up. And I was told by some YouTubers and information that I found out on YouTube that if you make a comment, it is connected to you. That's correct. It is connected to the person that makes a comment. So just be aware that if you make a comment, it does connect to you, from what I understand, whether it's good or bad or whatever. So if you don't want to make a comment, that's fine. But if you click the thumbs up, that doesn't allow anybody to see who gave me a thumbs up. So if you give me a thumbs up, no one knows except for you. And that thumbs up is only for the video that you're watching. So if you see some content that I do or filming and you're not going to give it a thumbs up, then so be it. But just to let you know, and if you subscribe to the channel by hitting that thing, you can unsubscribe anybody's YouTube channel at any time instantaneously, like in a second. You just push unsubscribe and it's done. It's not like when you go online and order something and they got your credit card number and everything else and you can't get away from the whole thing and it just takes you down. No, on YouTube channel, anybody's YouTube channel, you can subscribe. And what happens is when they post a video, anybody, it notifies you like with a bell, like ding, hey, there's a video. You don't have to go look at it. It's just there. And I think it saves it. So when you go to YouTube, it'll come up first, from what I understand. And at that point, you can either look at it. You don't have to look at it. You can look at the first 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. If you have time, whatever you want to. You can also stop looking at it. And wherever you stop looking at that video, just to let you know, it will continue if you come back to the video right where you left off. I'm pretty sure that is 100% correct. You can verify it, you can try it and see, but I'm just letting you know I think that is correct. So we're going to just get going here. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Education and safety, journeys and adventure, hiking, bushcraft, and survival, and sometimes we have some entertainment. I'm Mike Rockmaker. Until again, make your own journey and go out and be super safe and enjoy what you can, when you can, and how you can. And thanks for watching my channel. Appreciate it.